because Black History Month is not something that actually ends. They give us 28 days, and then that's supposed to be it, but really it's something that continues and extends. So I'm just going to continue. And this is really the only way I know how to do it, so I'm going to do it how I do it. You don't need to be in no hurry. You don't ever really got to worry. You don't need to check on how you feel. Just keep beating, none of this is real. And if you're thinking something's wrong, just remember it won't be too long before the director cuts the scene, yeah. This ain't really life, ain't really life, ain't really nothing but a movie. Ain't really life, ain't really life, ain't really nothing but a movie. Ain't really life, ain't really life, ain't really nothing but a movie. Ain't really life, ain't really life, ain't really nothing but a movie. Ain't really life, ain't really life, ain't really nothing but a movie. Or some might say a reality TV show. History repeats itself. Why you think so many black folks ain't scared? We've been marching, we've been singing and chanting and picketing and protesting. We've been in this fight. Women's rights means everything to me. I am a woman. But to so many of you, some of you, black lives still don't matter. But hey, so glad you finally decided to stand up for something, and I mean that from the bottom of my heart. In this time when clean water is not a concern for the powers that be, and the Dakota pipeline is not a controversy. 45 said nobody called him, nobody set up the meeting. And this time, where if you can't pay your year's salary or if you can afford to live on the better side of the tracks, your child doesn't deserve proper education. In a land where climate change does not exist, but it's 78 degrees for 2 weeks in February, and we're remembering the last couple of Christmases that we spent in shorts. Here, you can run for president of the free world with no experience, but you can hardly get a job in the field in which you have a degree. Some ask, where are our leaders in the resistance? I say, leaders are a thing of the past, but I can point you in the direction of alternative facts and the place where they plan to build the Great Wall of 45. It's still undecided as to whether or not he's keeping us in or keeping them out. I think it's both. The ban on terror is actually a ban on any beliefs other than theirs, because all Americans are good, God-fearing Christians, right? I can point you in the direction of racism, sexism, classism. Just take two right wings and then continue straight to the white supremacy house. They say it's huge. Or you can just sit on your couch with some popcorn and a couple beers, because the idiocracy will be televised. Ain't really life, ain't really life, ain't really nothing but a movie. Ain't really life, ain't really life, ain't really nothing but a movie. Ain't really life, ain't really life, ain't really nothing but a movie. Ain't really life, ain't really life, ain't really nothing but a movie. Well, the first thing I want to say is mandate my ass. Because it seems as though we've been convinced that 26% of registered voters, not even 26% of the American people, but 26% of registered voters form a mandate or a landslide. 21% voted for Skip B and 3 or 4% voted for somebody else who may have been running. But oh yeah, I remember. And this year that we have now declared, the year from Shogun to Reagan, I remember what I said about Reagan, I meant it. Acted like an actor. Hollywood. Acted like a liberal, acted like General Franco when he acted like governor of California, then acted like a Republican, then he acted like somebody was going to vote for him for president, and now we act like 26% of registered voters is an actual mandate. We're all actors in this, I suppose. What has happened is that in the last 20 years, America has changed from the producer to the consumer, and all consumers know that when the producer names the tune, the consumer has got to dance. That's the way it is. We used to be the producer, very inflexible at that, and now we are consumers and finding it difficult to understand. Natural resources and minerals will change your world. The Arabs used to be third world. Now they bought the second world, and they put a firm down payment on the first one. Controlling your resources will control your world. This country has been surprised by the way the world looks now. They don't know if they want to be Matt Dillon or Bob Dylan. They don't know if they want to be diplomats or continue the same policy of nuclear nightmare diplomacy. John Foster Dulles ain't nothing but the name of an airport now. The idea concerns the fact that this country wants nostalgia. They want to go back as far as they can, even if it's only as far as last week. Not to face now or tomorrow, but to face backwards. And yesterday was the day of our cinema heroes riding to the rescue at the last possible moment. The day of the man in the white hat, or the man on the white horse, or the man who always came to save America at the last moment, because someone always came to save America at the last moment, especially in B-movies. And when America found itself having a hard time facing the future, they looked for people like John Wayne. But since John Wayne is no longer available, they settled for Ronald Reagan. And it has placed us in a situation that we can only look at like a B-movie. Come with us back to those inglorious days when heroes weren't zeros. Before fair was square, when the cavalry came straight away and all American men were like Hemingway to the days of the wondrous B-movie. The producer, underwritten by all the millionaires necessary, will be Casper the Defensive Weinberger. No more animated choices available. The director will be Attila the Hague, running around frantically declaring himself in control and in charge, the ultimate realization of the inmates taking over at the asylum. The screenplay will be adapted from a book called Voodoo Economics by George Papadoc Bush. Music by the Village People, the very military. Macho, macho man. He wants to be a macho man. A theme song for a saber rallying and selling wars door to door. Remember, we're looking for the closest thing we can find to John Wayne. Cliches abound like kangaroos, courtesy of some spaced out Marlon Perkins, a Reagan contemporary. Cliches like itchy trigger finger and tall in the saddle and riding off into the sunset. Cliches like get out of my planet by sundown, more so than cliches like he died with his boots on. Marine tough the man is, Bogart tough the man is, Cagney tough the man is, Hollywood tough the man is, cheap steak tough, and Bozo substantial, the ultimate in synthetic selling, a Madison Avenue masterpiece, a miracle, cotton candy politician presto, macho. He wants to be a macho man. Put your orders in, America, and quick as Kodak, your leaders duplicate with the accent being on the dupes. Cause all of a sudden, we have fallen prey to selective amnesia, remembering what we want to remember and forgetting what we choose to forget. All of a sudden, the man who called for a bloodbath on our college campuses, supposed to be Dudley goddamn do-right. You go give the liberals hell, Ronnie. That was the mandate to the new Captain Bligh on the new ship of fools. It was doubtlessly based on his chameleon performance of the past as a liberal Democrat, as the head of the studio's actor guild. When other celluloid saviors were cringing in terror from McCarthy, Ron stood tall. It goes all the way back from Hollywood to hillbilly, from liberal to libelous, from bozo to birch idol, born again. Civil rights, women's rights, gay rights, it's all wrong. Call in the cavalry to disrupt the perception of freedom gone wild. God damn it, first one wants freedom, then the whole damn world wants freedom. Nostalgia, that's what we want. The good old days when we gave them hell. when the buck stopped somewhere and you could still buy something with it, to a time when movies were in black and white, and so was everything else. Even if we go back to the campaign trail before Six-Gun Ron shot off his face and developed hoof and mouth. Before the free press went down, before full court press, and were reluctant to review the menu because they knew the only thing available was crow. Lon Chaney, our man of 1,000 faces, no match for Ron. Doug Henning does the makeup. Special effects by Grecian Formula 16 and Crazy Glue. Transportation furnished by David Rockefeller. Their slogan is, why wait for 1984? You can panic now and avoid the rush. So much for good news. As Wall Street goes, so goes the nation. And here's a look at the closing numbers. Racism up, human rights down, peace is shaky, war items are hot. The House claims all ties, jobs are down, money is scarce, and common sense is at an all-time low on heavy trading. Movies were looking better than ever, and now no one is looking because we're starring in a B movie. And we would have rather had John Wayne